Welcome back to another video. My name is Zach Pasquarello, and I am going live every single day until I raise $5 million in my investment fund, Zip Capital. The goal of this channel, I'm trying to do two things, and I believe I can do both things simultaneously. I'm trying to teach you how to do your own private money lending. I understand the majority of you are probably never going to invest into my fund. That's okay. But here's the cool thing. On Friday of last week, I had one person reach out to me and she said, "Hey, been a long time follower. Just saw that you started talking about your investment fund. I'd like to learn more. This sounds kind of interesting." And then yesterday I had a second person reach out to me and said, "Hey, just saw your YouTube video. I'd like to at least learn more. I've been watching your videos for years. You've taught me so much. And now Zip Capital kind of sounds like an interesting opportunity." So I do know there are some people out there who are sitting on some extra cash. And that is why I started Zip Capital. I had a problem. My problem was a good problem, but my problem was that my bookkeeping business was doing so well that I had $50,000 saved up and I didn't know what to do with it. So all of you watching right now, you are either going to be in a similar situation now or soon, or eventually. You're either going to continue climbing the corporate ladder, you're going to grow your business, whatever business that might be, or maybe you just stay at the same level, but you just save your money over the next 3 to 5 years. And I guarantee at some point, there are going to be some of you who are sitting on $25,000 or more. And so my hope is that you remember these videos and you do your own private money lending. Truthfully, there are so many more fish in the sea. I believe in an abundance mindset. I believe I can make money and simultaneously you can also make money. That's kind of been the theme of everything that I've been talking about. I taught all of you how to get your own bookkeeping clients when I was also simultaneously trying to get my own bookkeeping clients. I truthfully believe in an abundance mindset. I believe there are enough fish in the sea for all of us. There are enough bookkeeping clients for all of us. There are enough real estate investors for all of us to lend to. So truthfully, my hope is that when you get to the point that you have $25,000 or more saved up, you can do your own private money lending. And if you don't want to do it, that's also fine. I have Zip Capital. I started my fund so that people like you can take more of a passive investment strategy and invest into my fund. So I just want to address the comment in the chat really quick. Somebody said, "What do you enjoy most about private money lending? Is it analyzing the deals? Do you still enjoy the actual work of bookkeeping?" I honestly do enjoy the actual work of bookkeeping. That's just in my nature. I view bookkeeping, honestly, I view business in general as solving a puzzle. That's kind of what bookkeeping is to me. Think of each individual transaction as a piece to the puzzle. Think about financial reports as the completed puzzle. I get a lot of satisfaction in completing the puzzle, categorizing the transactions, creating the financial reports, sending them to the client, and the client feeling this sense of relief, knowing that their bookkeeping is done. Their financial reports are accurate and updated, and they can file their taxes and they can go apply for that bank loan. They can move on with their business. They can be more organized and run their business more efficiently. So yes, I do still enjoy the act of bookkeeping. What do I enjoy most about private money lending? I enjoy the control that I have over my investments. If you invest in the stock market, you don't really have any control over the stock market. You definitely don't have any control over the stock market. If you invest into cryptocurrency, you definitely don't have control over cryptocurrency. If you invest into real estate, you do have control over the rental properties that you purchase, but it's a lot of work. It's really hands-on. Finding good deals, managing tenants, repairs and maintenance, really hands-on. So I love Zip Capital. I love private money lending because I have control over who I lend to. I can be as strict as I want when it comes to underwriting. When it comes to risk mitigation, I can be as strict as I want. So I can request all the documents. I can have super strict requirements. If I want to be super secure, I can have a very low LTV if I want to reduce my risk. So I love the control that I have. And also I love the double-digit returns that I get from doing private money lending. I'm easily earning 12%. That's incredible. That's amazing. Sure, the stock market, the S&P 500 might do 12%. It's done really well in the past 5 years, but on average, you're going to have months and years that are single digit returns, even negative returns. I'm sure all of you can remember a period in history where the stock market, had a negative annual return. The cool thing about private money lending, first, it's secured by real estate. So all of my loans are secured by real estate. And second, double-digit returns, fixed returns. So every single month, if I get 12% interest, if I lend somebody $200,000, every month I get paid $2,000, 1% fixed returns. It's really consistent, really reliable, and really secured. It's literally secured by a mortgage. Okay, Din, you said, can you talk about the scalability for Zip Capital? Amazing question. So I'm not trying to teach anybody how to start an investment fund. Let me just be clear. I'm not trying to teach you how to do that because I've only been doing it for 6 months. I barely know what I'm doing. I've only been private money lending for 2.5 years. So I'm not an expert, but Din, you bring up a great point. The scalability of Zip Capital gets me excited. It gives me goosebumps. It makes me want to run into the kitchen and talk to my wife for 20 minutes about stuff that she does not care about because this stuff is so exciting. Nobody else really cares. Hopefully you all care because you're all kind of finance nerds and you're all accountants. And so hopefully you get it. But the scalability of Zip Capital gets me excited. So I can manage $5 million and my average loan size is $100,000, maybe $150,000. And my average loan duration is 6 months. So I basically have to lend out $10 million per year. So if you take $10 million and divide that by, let's just say 150,000, that ends up equaling 66. So I would need to do 66 loans per year to manage $5 million. That's 1, maybe 2 loans per week. I'm doing that right now. Not really, not to the full scale, but I'm almost doing that right now. That is so easy. That is barely any work. And if I manage $5 million in Zip Capital, I'll make 20%. I'll pay my investors 10%, which means my net profit will be about 10%. So I can profit about roughly 10% on $5 million and only do 1 or 2 loans per week. So that means I could profit $500,000 per year, only doing 1, sometimes 2 loans per week. 1 to 5 hours of work per week, $500,000. And then here's the cool thing. I could probably double it. And I could probably manage $10 million on my own and maybe increase my loan size a little bit, maybe increase my loan size to $200,000. And then I would need to do 100 loans per year. That's 2 loans per week, average loan size, $200,000. And I could profit $1 million per year just managing $10 million of other people's money. Keep in mind, that doesn't count my own money. So I have about $800,000 of my own money. And so for whatever I lend out of my own money is just straight profit. So 20% of 800,000. So I'm straight profit 160,000. So I'm looking at hopefully 500,000 plus 160, close to, let's just call it $700,000 per year, managing 5 million of other people's money and managing 1 million of my own. That's the scalability of Zip Capital. That's my goal. That's why I want to grow Zip Capital. I think the future is bright when it comes to private money loans and managing Zip Capital. Steele, will you be going live over the weekends? No, I'm not going to go live on Saturday or Sunday, just Monday through Friday. That'd be too much. And I don't really think you guys want to hear me talk on Saturday or Sunday. Okay, so that's enough talking about Zip Capital. Let's talk more specifically about private money loans. Specifically, let's talk about how I got started with real estate lending with only $50,000. So I had a problem. Like I said, I had a problem. I had $50,000 in my bank account and I didn't know what to do with it. And so I was doing bookkeeping for real estate investors. And so I learned about private money lending. I found one of my clients who needed a loan and I lent them $50,000. And these real estate investors fix and flip properties quickly. Sometimes they don't even do anything to the property. Sometimes they just need money to buy the property and then they just sell it really quickly. And that was this scenario. So they used my money to purchase the property. 30 days later, they sold the property without doing anything to it. They made a great profit. They probably profited, I don't know, $25,000. And then I made $1,000 just by lending them $50,000 in 30 days. And I would be willing to bet that I could do that again and again and again. And if I can do it, there's a chance you could also do it yourself. And that's why I'm just so excited about private money lending, because we're all working so hard. Bookkeepers, accountants, other people watching my channel, maybe CFOs, fractional CFOs, we all work so hard to earn our active income. Like, that is hard. I'm telling you, starting a bookkeeping business, starting any business is really, really hard. Go ahead and watch all my other videos. I don't sugarcoat it. Starting a business is hard. Climbing the corporate ladder is really, really hard. Earning active income requires a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of consistency and perseverance. But passive income, which private money lending is pretty darn close to passive income. Once you actually get your money, then you could really earn some passive income on the cash that you make from your active income. And that's why I love private money lending. I think it fits so well with us accountants, having our background of accounting and bookkeeping and finance and taxes. Like, we know how to interpret tax returns and financial reports. Okay. Din, sounds interesting and exciting. How hard is it to find people to loan to? Are you loaning statewide or countrywide? So that's a great question. So it really comes down to marketing and sales. The exact same things that I taught you all, marketing and sales techniques to get bookkeeping clients, is the exact same thing that I'm doing now to get borrowers. So as managing Zip Capital, there's kind of two different things that I'm doing. And this is a unique challenge to managing an investment fund. It's a unique challenge that I didn't really have as a bookkeeping business owner. I have to do two things. I have to find borrowers and I have to find investors. Finding investors is hard. That's why I'm making these YouTube channels. I'm trying to find investors into Zip Capital. Finding borrowers is really, really easy. And that's actually why I started Zip Capital, because I've been leveraging my social media marketing, my social media networking. I've been leveraging the 5,000 Facebook friends, the 10,000 followers I have, the 6,000 LinkedIn followers. I've been leveraging the network that I've already built over the past 5 years of building my bookkeeping business. I've already done marketing to real estate investors. I already have bookkeeping clients who are real estate investors. So I've just basically converted my marketing to, instead of, hey, I'm a bookkeeper, let me know if you need help with your QuickBooks, to now, hey, I'm a private money lender, let me know if you need funding for your next acquisition. So I'm using my exact same Facebook, my exact same LinkedIn, my exact same strategies, but now instead of talking about bookkeeping, I'm talking about private money lending. And so it's the exact same audience. So it's really easy so far. It's been really easy to find borrowers. And with real estate lending, money goes quick. So I'm not doing car loans. I'm not doing business loans. I'm not doing micro loans. Like if I were lending $2,000, $500, $25,000, if I were lending a small amount, I might be able to earn like a higher profit margin, but it would be much more difficult to scale. So instead, I'm still charging 12% interest, which is still a pretty good interest rate. And instead, I'm doing large loans secured by real estate. So if I have $5 million and if I do a $200,000 loan, then my $5 million gets used up quickly and efficiently. So right now I only have $1.3 million lent out, and I've got another $500,000 in queue about to be lent out. So I'm going to have close to $2 million lent out, but that goes quickly with real estate loans. That's 10, maybe less than 10 loans. So I can deploy $2 million, 10 loans in 2 months. That's no problem. It's so easy to find borrowers because I already have the network. I already have the social media. I already have the marketing. To answer your second question, Dim, no, I'm not loaning countrywide. I'm only lending in Pennsylvania, specifically South Central Pennsylvania. Like, I'm not lending in Philadelphia or Pittsburgh because the city can get kind of crazy. So I'm only lending in central Pennsylvania. That's my market. That's my niche. Just like I recommend it could be helpful to find a niche for your bookkeeping business, same principles apply to Zip Capital and private money lending. I have a niche. I only lend on fix and flips. I don't lend on land or new construction. I only lend in Pennsylvania. Sure, I could lend in Ohio and New Jersey and Maryland if I wanted to, but I'm going to stick to what I know. I'm going to stick to my niche. There's something else that I wanted to bring up. I wanted to bring up another reason why I make these videos. Honestly, it's because I've been searching personally. I've been searching on YouTube for content from other entrepreneurs who are one step ahead of me. There's a ton of content from entrepreneurs who are managing a $1 billion company, or entrepreneurs who have private jets and Lamborghinis and a $10 million vacation house on the beach. And those videos are cool. They look cool, high production, they're great, but they're not super relatable. So my hope is that by me making these videos, I hope that all of you watching are one step ahead of me, at the same step, maybe a couple steps behind me, but I hope these videos are relatable. I want you to believe that you are just like me. I'm just like you. Everything that I do, everything that I talk about can be replicated by regular people. The things that I talk about are not some far-fetched Wall Street, Silicon Valley, like crazy ideas. I'm just a regular dude in South Central Pennsylvania who started a successful bookkeeping business. Now I have a couple $100,000. Now I lend to real estate investors. Now my goal is to raise $5 million in Zip Capital. And truthfully, I hope that I inspire you to do the same. If not the exact same, then something similar. I just had a really cool conversation with an older gentleman this morning. He reached out to me. He found me on YouTube and he said, Zach, I can tell the sincerity and the enthusiasm and the genuine transparency in your videos. And that was the biggest compliment that I could ever receive. He reached out to me because he believed that I believe in what I'm talking about. And it's true. Like, you can't fake authenticity. You can't fake this excitement. And it's true. I really believe that starting a business, growing your business it was a game changer. It was a life changer for me. So truthfully, I just want to motivate, inspire, educate other people who feel the same way I do. And hopefully you can learn from the mistakes that I've made and fast track to success by watching all my bookkeeping business videos, starting your own bookkeeping business, and now watch my private money lending videos. Now join me every day at 11 a.m. for some private money lending, real estate investing conversations. I'm going to struggle to keep this up. So if you have any ideas for keeping this interesting or with new ideas of new things to talk about, let me know. As you can tell, my production is pretty low quality. So I might need to get a whiteboard. I might need to be able to share my screen and do some other things, but I don't know. I'm going to keep doing this until I raise $5 million. If you see back there, $258,000. That's where I am right now. My goal is to get to 5 million. So I'm going to keep making these videos. I'm going to keep talking about private money lending until I get to that point. Okay, let's see. I got a couple more questions. Can you talk about your thoughts on subcontracting versus hiring and building a team? Dim, I love it, but I'm going to focus on private money lending right now. I'm not going to talk too much about bookkeeping. Okay, Steele, a large part of why I tune in every day and have been watching you for over a year is because you are relatable. You're obviously very knowledgeable, but you make this seem obtainable. That's what I'm talking about, Steele. That's why I do it. I love it. Okay, let's jump into a little bit more information because my goal is to educate. So if you want to invest in my fund, you can, but my goal is to educate. So let me talk about what could go wrong as a private money lender and how to protect yourself, because it's great. I've funded 36 loans over the past 3 years, $4 million that I funded. I've had 0 defaults and 0 foreclosures so far. But things could go wrong, and you got to be able to protect yourself. Risk management, most important thing that we do. So it's great. It's great to grow your money, but doesn't matter what you do. If you lose your money, then nothing else matters. I don't care what your returns are. You cannot lose money. Don't lose money. That's the number one goal. Unsecured loans, don't do them. There's really no point. Obviously, you can do whatever you want, but I'm only doing secured loans. I'm only doing first position loans, not doing unsecured loans. Never just do a promissory note without securing it to real estate. If you want to be a private money lender, it's just not worth it because there are so many borrowers out there who are willing to secure your loan with a mortgage. Poor underwriting, sloppy underwriting, fast underwriting. It's really a simple process. You just need to be patient. So you need to ask questions. Ask the borrower to send you documents, and then it's up to them. If they don't send you documents, or if they give you a hard time, or if they're difficult to work with, or if they don't completely fulfill your requests, then that's a sign. That's a red flag. Not a good fit. Move on. You just need to do more work, marketing and networking. If you're struggling to find borrowers, if you're struggling to find credit-worthy real estate investors to lend to, don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. I would much rather wait 30 days and do a good loan than be lazy, cut corners, sloppy underwriting, and do a bad loan. So just be patient and don't be lazy. Have good underwriting criteria and stick to it. Have a checklist. Don't deviate from your checklist for anything. First lien position, tax returns, $30,000 of cash reserves, or 10% of the project in cash, or maybe 20% of the project in cash reserves. So if you're lending $200,000, maybe your requirement is you need to have $40,000 of liquidity. Tax returns, pay stubs, financial reports. Maybe your requirement is you need to have at least a Q1 2025 P&L. Just a requirement, not necessarily because I need to see your business revenue or your business expenses, but mostly just because, and this is just as an example, but just an example underwriting criteria, but maybe your logic is I only want to lend to somebody who has a business organized enough to have financial reports. Maybe that's your criteria. Comps, make sure you get comps. If the comps don't look right, ask questions. Hey, the property that you're asking me about is 2,000 square feet, but these comps you just sent me are all 2,800 square feet. What's going on? Maybe they're like, oh, forgot to mention, part of our scope of work is we're going to add an addition onto the property. Oh, we're going to finish half of the basement. Hey, these comps are 3.5 bathrooms, but the property you sent me is only 2 bathrooms. What's going on? Oh, forgot to mention, we're going to add a half bath into the basement, and we're going to add a master bathroom into the master bedroom. So if anything doesn't look clear, just don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be lazy. Be patient when you're underwriting. It is the most important thing that you can do as a private money lender, and mitigate risk. So what happens if the borrower stops paying? What happens if they don't pay their interest payments? So this is why it's amazing, because we're bookkeepers. So we are perfectly leveraged, perfectly experienced to track this stuff meticulously. I've got a QuickBooks account set up for Zip Capital. I've got ACH origination set up for Zip Capital. I have a spreadsheet set up for Zip Capital. I'm tracking all of these things on a monthly basis. So I know exactly who's paying, how much, when their payment is due. I'm checking my bank account, ACH origination, ACH authorization, get the borrower to sign the ACH authorization, go to my bank account, type in XYZ investment company, $2,000, due July 1st, recurring monthly payment, the first month of every month, effective July 1st, $2,000, XYZ company for 123 Main Street. Track the interest payments, and then I also have a spreadsheet. And so every month I compare. What did I receive that month? What was I supposed to receive that month? I check my QuickBooks account, my bank account, my recurring invoices in QuickBooks, and my spreadsheet. I'm double checking everything. It might not seem like a big deal now, and it wasn't when I was just getting started, but kind of like how I teach you with your bookkeeping business, if you plan on doing multiple loans, multiple lenders, things are going to escalate quickly. So you just want to make sure that you develop systems in the beginning to track these things. And that's everything that I've done. Let's see. What else happens if the borrower stops paying? Foreclosure. That's why I've never gone through a default or a foreclosure. So I don't have any experience, but that's why I have a real estate attorney who drafts my promissory note and my mortgage. So in the event of a foreclosure, I would lean on the expertise of the attorney to facilitate the foreclosure. I'm not even going to pretend to know all the legal background behind a foreclosure. Hopefully I never go through one. Secretly, I will admit, I kind of want to go through one now with my own money, not my investors' money. I kind of want to go through one now with my own money just so I have the experience to know. Like, I would love to be able to speak to interested investors and be like, yep, I just went through a foreclosure last month actually, and guess what? I got my full loan repaid through the foreclosure, all the attorney fees paid for, everything went wonderful. Or maybe also I could learn from some mistakes. Maybe I don't do a good job underwriting. This hasn't happened yet, but it could happen. Maybe I do a bad job of underwriting. Maybe I lend too much and maybe I don't get my money back. Maybe I don't get all of my money back. I would like to go through a foreclosure secretly. Don't tell anybody, but secretly a small part of me wants to go through a foreclosure now before I get too big. I'd rather have to foreclose on a $50,000 property now than have to foreclose on a $500,000 or a $5 million loan in the next 10 years. I'd rather go through and learn the lessons now. All right, we got 3 minutes left. Let's go through 2 more questions. Alec, I just started my bookkeeping business. Should I focus on attaining real estate clients and transition to private money lending? I think real estate investors are great bookkeeping clients. They pay a lot. They need our services, and there's a lot of them out there. The cool thing about real estate investors as bookkeeping clients is they're not just entrepreneurs. There's a lot of people who are regular W-2 employees who need a bookkeeper because they have 5 rentals. So I love working with real estate investors. Their bookkeeping is complicated. It is tough to learn, but you could easily charge $500, $1,000, $2,000 per month for most real estate investors. Me personally, if I could go back in time and do it all over again, I would not change a single thing. I would specialize in real estate. I would learn real estate investing. The other cool thing, even if you don't want to do private money lending, it's still great to learn about real estate investing, because maybe you don't want to do private money lending. Maybe you just want to buy rental properties, or maybe you want to flip your own property. It's a great way to learn. Get behind the scenes, learn how local real estate investors are operating from a financial perspective. You're going to learn so much about real estate investing. At least I did. You're going to learn so much by doing their bookkeeping. All right, Dan, being able to margin 20% on secured loans is amazing. So I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm charging 12% plus 3% origination, 6-month terms, which means I'm charging my 3% origination twice per year, which means 12 plus 3 plus 3, 18%. And I charge a processing fee and I charge an underwriting fee. With all those things added together, it's anywhere from 18 to 22% returns on my money. It's amazing. I love it. I've been doing it for 2.5 years. I can't wait to get to the point where I can say I've been doing this for 10 years and it's still true. I hope that's true, because I know there's going to be some people who say, just wait until we go through a financial crisis, wait until we go through a real estate crash, and you're going to lose all your money. I hope that doesn't happen, but you don't know what you don't know. So I'm doing my best. Here's the thing. Here's what I'll close with. You're going to make mistakes. That's called experience. Everybody always says, I need experience. I want to get experience. How do I learn? Getting experience means making mistakes. Making mistakes is okay. It's how we learn. The key is, don't make the same mistake twice. If you get a bookkeeping client and you do a terrible job, you mess up their books, that's okay. It's going to happen. Learn from your mistake. Just don't make the same mistake twice. As long as you're doing your best, being honest, having integrity, being transparent, then there's no fault. As long as you're genuinely trying to do your... Now, if you purposefully try to commit fraud or try to scam somebody, I'm never an advocate for that. Obviously, we work in the financial industry, and managing people's finances, managing an investment fund, doing private money lending is all about trust and integrity. So if you're not an honest person, this is not the field for you. But as long as you're trying to do your best, that's really all you can ask for. So getting experience just means that you make mistakes and you learn from your mistakes. So that's it, everybody. Thank you. Wish I found your channel before I graduated. Alec, hey, I say it all the time. The best day to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The best day to find my channel was 5 years ago. The second best day is today. So I'm definitely happy that you're here. I'm so thankful for everybody watching this channel. There's only 16 people watching right now. My hope is that in the next 6 months, I've got 1,600 people watching this, truthfully, because I just think that private money lending is amazing and I want to tell more people about it. So if you know anybody who might be interested in private money lending or investing in Zip Capital, please share this channel with them and tell them to tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. I'm going live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m., same time, same place. Thank you all so much for watching. I could not do this without you. This is all because of you. I'm so appreciative, and truthfully, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.